Excellencies, dear colleagues, it is a privilege to join you at the closing of the Asia Clean Energy Forum. Over the past days, you have explored technologies, financing models, policies, and partnerships shaping the future of energy. Now, as we close, the question before us is no longer whether we will transition, but how fast and how smartly we do so. Now, if these transitions deliver real resilience for people and economies in this volatile world, they work. We are entering a new phase of the energy equation. For too long, our grids have been functional as passive conduits. But that model is no longer sufficient to meet rising costs and rising demands. This means this next phase needs systems that have some essential features. So let me share a few. They should respond better to mixed energy inputs, be less costly to maintain, including in remote areas, and operate with new tech. They must be flexible enough to respond to changing demands in real time and capable of integrating renewables at much greater speed and scale. So in today's uncertain world, this is fundamentally about energy security, sovereignty, and resilience. Smart energy systems is both a development and a security imperative. While energy demand is rising faster in this region than anywhere else, we can see it driven by industrialization, rapid urbanization, rising wealth, and a growing middle class. But it is also about the rapid expansion of data centers and digital infrastructure. So while the supply side has taken a hit with the current conflict in the Middle East, the region still relies on fossil fuels for 85% of its energy. And we see the resurgence of coal use in many of our countries. So while renewable energy is expanding, it is struggling to keep pace with this exponential rise in demand, and to do so at lower costs. Now, the bottom line is that millions still lack affordable electricity. That is why the transition is not only about adding cleaner energy, it is also how energy systems can deliver more access, better security, and opportunity at the same time. Take Fiji as an example of this more integrated approach. With UNDP support, renewable mini-grids are bringing electricity to rural communities, while also enabling digital payments, improving water access, and unlocking new economic activity. If I move to Central Asia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan, we are supporting governments to modernize grids and de-risk investments in more efficient transmission technologies. The result is not only more reliable power, but stronger industrial and commercial activity, and ultimately, greater economic resilience. So let us take a moment to look at recent geopolitical disruptions, also as moments of opportunity. In March, Asian spot LNG prices rose by 95% month on month. So where's the opportunity? Thanks to decades of investing in energy efficiency, today's global economy produces 36% more GDP per unit of energy than it did 2 decades ago. That's a massive leap. With digital data and AI reshaping energy systems, the opportunities grow and accelerate, so these gains can also be greater. Take the case of electric vehicles. In 2025 alone, EVs avoided the use of 2.3 million barrels of oil per day. And EVs could account for over 40% of global car sales by 2030. The economics have also fundamentally shifted. Today, more than 90% of new renewable projects are cheaper than their fossil fuel alternatives. Batteries are increasingly more cost-effective than extending old grid infrastructure. And AI is already improving forecasting, strengthening grid reliability, and reducing outages, sometimes even by 50%. So, we move to the heart of your conversations these past few days. How smart energy systems will be key to the next phase of development. We know that replacing fossil fuels with renewables is essential, but it will not be enough. The next phase is about intelligence and intelligent systems. Traditional grids were built around centralized and predictable energy generation, but it was not to manage distributed assets, variable renewables, electric mobility, the need for vast storage, and this scale of demand. Without smart systems, the risks of energy systems collapse. That is very real. Many of you see this already, from congestion and curtailment to outages and to stranded assets. Smart energy systems can unlock a very different trajectory. So 3 points I would like you to consider. First, optimizing energy systems while expanding equitable access. Digital tools, data, and AI are making systems more efficient, responsive, and predictable. Investment in these digital grid technologies has increased by over 50% since 2015. So this no longer needs to be an either-or. Second, designing systems that learn and learn continuously. Geospatial tools now allow countries to link energy systems with economic activity, simulate changing demands and risks, to prioritize investments before capital is deployed. At UNDP, we support this through the Clean Energy Equity Index developed with IBM. And third, it's about building local digital and data infrastructure to expand national innovation ecosystems. Energy systems benefit from this larger, smarter ecosystem of capabilities. To illustrate, in Southeast Asia, the digital economy alone already contributes more than 20% of GDP in some countries. And AI adoption in power systems could deliver significant savings and emission reductions over the next decade in this ASEAN region. Now, my final pitch is about smart partnerships. At UNDP, we approach energy as a system that fires the engines of human development, hence linking energy infrastructure, policy, finance directly with social and economic outcomes. Take the small island nation of Nauru, for example. A GEF-supported UNDP project is building on ADB's solar investments to develop a smarter, more flexible island-wide grid. The aim is to displace diesel, strengthen energy security, and deliver more reliable services for people, measured in well-being outbeings, not just kilowatt hours. Now, Nepal shows how these partnerships come together, also at scale. There, ADB finance infrastructure is complemented by UNDP's long-standing work on community livelihoods and inclusion. With trusted national partners, including the Alternative Energy Promotion Center and the Nepal Electricity Authority, with support from Norway, what began as a response to energy access in remote areas is now evolving into a scalable model for local economic development as well. Financing institutions such as ADB can support the essential large-scale infrastructure, while UNDP can help ensure that these investments translate into integrated systems, local capabilities, local institutions that together deliver for human development. This will require closer coordination between various national and subnational government entities, development partners, and the private sector to de-risk investments and mobilize both public and private capital. Now, this is why UNDP is also supporting countries to translate their NDC 3.0 commitments into credible investment plans and bankable project pipelines to access more affordable finance and accelerate these smart energy transitions. If we transform energy systems to transform the lives of millions more, we all win. Thank you.